Hey everyone, and welcome to the channel. Join us as we dive into the world of Disastrous Necromancer, where we'll unravel the mysteries of Lin Moyu's quest to become the strongest. From hidden secrets to epic battles, we're here to give you an exclusive look at the story before anyone else. If you're a fan of fantasy, necromancers, or just love a good adventure, you're in the right place. Don't forget to like, comment, and share to support the channel, and make sure you hit that subscribe button so you never miss a chapter. Let's start the journey.
The sudden change in the Sea of Flowers was silent. Even Lin Moyu did not sense it. At this moment, Lin Moyu had already flown into the forest and arrived at the entrance of a cave. The cave entrance was about 5 meters high, enough for him to pass through. Before he arrived, many skeletal god warriors had already entered. The terrain inside the cave had already been mapped out in his mind. The cave was intricate, with numerous poison bees inside. The walls were full of holes, which were the poison bees' nests. Interestingly, there were many flowers growing inside the cave. The flowers were everywhere, densely packed. However, in the undead vision, everything was black and white, making it impossible to see the flower's specific appearance. But the fact that flowers could grow in a cave full of poison bees was strange and unusual. The information Chu Ji provided did not mention the flowers, perhaps because he didn't notice them at the time. The skeletal god warriors had already attracted all the poison bees near the entrance, so Lin Moyu did not encounter any poison bees when he entered the cave. Lin Moyu was enveloped in a layer of gray and white light, looking like a very thin mist, even distorting the space around him. This was the bone hell covering his body. Bone hell could be used offensively or retracted to form a shield. If there was danger, bone hell would be the first layer of defense. Shortly after entering the cave, Lin Moyu saw the flowers. The flowers were similar in color to the cave walls, a slightly earthy yellow. Although there were many of them, they were not conspicuous and could easily be overlooked. Lin Moyu glanced at the flowers and found nothing wrong with them. The real problem was not the flowers but the small earthy yellow grass hidden behind them. The small earthy yellow grass was inconspicuous, blending in with the flowers and the cave walls, making it even less noticeable. However, Lin Moyu noticed that the yellow grass was continuously emitting poison gas. This poison was invisible and intangible, not immediately noticeable. By the time one felt it, it would be too late. The poison would accumulate in the body and soul, like a ticking time bomb waiting to be triggered. Bone hell glowed faintly, absorbing all the poison gas in the cave, preventing it from touching Lin Moyu. Even if it did touch him, it wouldn't matter, as his passive spells were enough to make him immune to this level of poison. The skeletal god warriors moved through the intricate cave at an astonishing speed. Behind them was a dense swarm of poison bees. In less than half an hour, the skeletal god warriors had traversed most of the cave, attracting all the poison bees. Using undead gaze in the cave was inconvenient. If he could use corpse explosion, the killing effect would be better. Unfortunately, the poison bees left no corpses after death. Lin Moyu chose a relatively open area based on the terrain. Over 1,000 skeletal god generals formed a 3-dimensional battle formation. When the skeletal god warriors lured the poison bee swarm over, the skeletal god generals unleashed sword energy, launching a deadly attack. The poison bee swarm had no chance against the attacks of the small god sovereigns. A large number of poison bees died in the sword energy. The dead poison bees turned into light spots, rising upwards. The cave did not obstruct the light spots. They seemed to be intangible, easily penetrating the cave walls and disappearing. As a result, Lin Moyu had no chance to observe the runes in the cave. In just a few minutes, countless poison bees were wiped out. The skeletal god warriors had traversed most of the cave and found the correct route. Lin Moyu felt like he was back in the small world, clearing a dungeon. He was very familiar with this kind of task. He transformed the skeletal god warriors into skeletal god generals to clear the way, following the correct path deeper into the cave. According to Lin Moyu's understanding, there should be many such caves. Not every cave would have a poison bee queen. Whether the cave he was in had one was up to luck. The cave path gradually widened, eventually reaching over 10 meters in height and width. This indicated that something large had passed through here. Could it be the poison bee queen or the poison bee king? From this point on, there were no ordinary poison bees. Clearly, the poison bees had a strict hierarchy, and some places were off limits to ordinary poison bees. Lin Moyu noticed that the poison in the air had increased significantly. The flowers and yellow grass were denser, and the poison was now visible as a faint yellow mist in the air. Wrapped in bone hell, Lin Moyu ignored the yellow mist. After a bend in the path, his view suddenly opened up. A clear pool of water appeared before him, as calm as a mirror. Beside the pool were 2 giant bee eggs. The bee eggs were about 3 meters high, with openings at the top, continuously inhaling the yellow mist and then spewing it out like a volcano. The whole process was accompanied by the expansion and contraction of the bee eggs, as if a creature inside was breathing. Lin Moyu was immediately attracted to the bee eggs. As the bee eggs breathed, numerous rune fragments appeared on their surface. These were the same fragments he had seen in the light spots, but this time he could see them with his naked eyes. Just as Lin Moyu wanted to take a closer look, the bee eggs suddenly spewed out a large amount of mist. The originally thin yellow mist became dense, like thick sulfur before a volcanic eruption, instantly covering the bee eggs and filling the entire space. The toxicity of the mist increased sharply. If an ordinary god king were here, they would have to retreat and wait for the mist to dissipate. A slow reaction could even be dangerous. But for Lin Moyu, it was not a problem. The skeletal god generals ignored the mist and directly attacked the bee eggs. The sword energy struck, and the bee eggs exploded, releasing more poison gas. At the same time, a piercing scream echoed in the cave. 4 giant poison bees rushed over, moving quickly through the dense mist, unaffected by it. Judging by the strength of their soul flames, they were all around the 8th level of the God King realm. Lin Moyu saw them clearly. Compared to the fist-sized poison bees, these were giants, over 2 meters long, with 4 pairs of rapidly vibrating transparent wings, producing a buzzing sound. Their mouths and tails had long, sharp stingers, glowing with a strange light, clearly highly toxic. Boom! As soon as they appeared, the dense mist exploded. The poison reached its peak in an instant. Lin Moyu realized that Chu Ji had faced the same situation. The 4 giant poison bees were what Chu Ji had encountered. They were not the poison bee king, which was why Chu Ji had a chance to escape. If it had been the poison bee king, Chu Ji would likely have perished. The 4 giant poison bees were not particularly strong, just 8th level god kings. The only trouble was their poison. Without the poison, they would be easy to deal with. The best strategy was to leave and return after the poison dissipated or to prepare anti-poison treasures and pills and fight them head-on. Lin Moyu chose the latter. As the giant poison bees released their poison, the skeletal god generals charged. Their bone swords were incredibly sharp, and with a flash of swordlight, the giant poison bees were sliced into pieces. After the giant poison bees died, they did not turn into light spots like the ordinary poison bees. Instead, a dazzling beam of light shot out from their corpses. The beam of light was filled with countless rune fragments. However, the beam lasted only 2 seconds and happened so suddenly that Lin Moyu couldn't seize the opportunity. From the initial rune fragments in the light spots after the poison bees died, to the dense rune fragments on the bee eggs, and now the rune fragments in the beam of light after the giant poison bees died, everything in the secret realm was telling Lin Moyu that everything here was constructed from runes. After eliminating the bee eggs and the giant poison bees, the poison gas in the cave quickly dissipated, posing no further threat. Lin Moyu continued deeper into the cave, following the direction from which the giant poison bees had come, and finally reached the deepest part of the cave. Here, Lin Moyu saw the mother of poison bees. The mother of poison bees was even larger than the giant poison bees. It lay on the ground, and behind it was a huge beehive. The beehive was enormous, shaped like a large sphere with a diameter exceeding 10 meters. Countless poison bees were crawling on it. The cave was merely a living space for the poison bees, but this place was where they were nurtured. Around the mother of poison bees were 4 bee eggs, each guarded by a giant poison bee. It seemed they were protecting the bee eggs. No poison bee king. Lin Moyu felt a bit disappointed. He had found the mother of poison bees but had not encountered the poison bee king. The task had warned that if one encountered the poison bee king, they should turn and flee without hesitation. However, it was also clear that the chances of encountering the poison bee king were very low. Lin Moyu even speculated that encountering the giant poison bees was not guaranteed every time. The appearance of the mother of poison bees reminded Lin Moyu of a dungeon he had experienced before, the Tyrant Desert. There was a boss-level monster in it called the Ant Queen. The structure of the entire ant colony seemed somewhat similar to the poison bees in front of him. This inexplicable sense of familiarity surprised Lin Moyu. Perhaps it's just a coincidence. With a thought, the skeletal god generals charged in to attack. The mother of poison bees let out a sharp scream, sending out sound waves that pushed the skeletal god generals back several steps. The mother of poison bees was only at the 8th level of the God King realm, the same level as the giant poison bees. However, its scream could push back the skeletal god generals, who were at the small god sovereign realm, which was quite surprising. But it only pushed them back and did not cause any harm. After pushing back the skeletal god generals, the mother of poison bees' scream became even higher. The beehive behind it also began to hum and vibrate, and a large number of poison bees flew out. The poison bees swarmed out, instantly exceeding 1,000. They charged like an army, led by the 4 giant poison bees. If it were other cultivators, facing such an attack, they would likely retreat first, using the terrain and treasures to counterattack. After all, without the poison, cultivators could fight boldly and freely. As long as their strength and experience were not lacking, eliminating the poison bees would not be too difficult. For Lin Moyu, it was even simpler. With a light touch of his finger, the bone hell instantly expanded, enveloping the entire cave. The slaves in the bone hell immediately took action, and the wondrous spirits exerted their squeezing force, while the three-tribe coalition launched a simultaneous attack. A large number of poison bees were quickly killed, turning into light spots. Lin Moyu discovered that the light spots formed after the poison bees died could not escape the bone hell, nor could they return to the secret realm. The bone hell acted like another dimension, trapping the light spots. The rune fragments contained in the light spots were also trapped in the bone hell. It can be done like this. Lin Moyu was slightly surprised, not expecting the bone hell to have such a function. The light spots formed after the poison bees died flew around in the bone hell. They carried the power of the rune fragments, crashing around in the bone hell, seemingly trying to return but to no avail. Lin Moyu's eyes lit up. In this way, I can trap them all inside and study them slowly. I might even be able to use the bone hell to piece together the runes completely. Although I can't understand them now, I can at least see what the ancient runes look like. Unfortunately, things did not go as planned. After flying around for a while, the light spots burst like bubbles and completely disappeared. No, it won't work. His idea fell through, leaving him slightly disappointed. But this was expected. If it were so easy to obtain, the rune fragments would be too worthless. The disappearance of the rune fragments was normal. Facing the slaughter in the bone hell, the poison bee swarm and the giant poison bees couldn't last even a minute. Soon, only the mother of poison bees was left in the cave. The poison bees and similar creatures would turn into light and disappear after death. The task required obtaining the corpse of the mother of poison bees, indicating that it was special and would at least leave a corpse after death. With all its subordinates killed, the mother of poison bees seemed a bit confused, as if it hadn't reacted yet. It screamed frantically, but it was futile. The beehive behind it was still wriggling, but it couldn't produce more poison bees in a short time. It seemed to sense the approach of death. Without wisdom, it didn't know what fear was. It just twisted frantically and uneasily out of instinct. Sword energy burst forth, illuminating the cave in a white world. The scream stopped abruptly, and the mother of poison bees fell. A beam of light shot out from its body, also containing a large number of rune fragments. Its corpse shrank in the beam of light but did not completely disappear. Finally, the corpse of the mother of poison bees became the size of a fist, looking like a specimen. Lin Moyu walked over and picked up the corpse of the mother of poison bees. Boom! The cave shook violently, and the rock wall in front collapsed, revealing a brand new passage. Is the task not over yet? Or is this the exit? As Lin Moyu was thinking, a pitch-black vortex appeared beside him. The vortex emitted the aura of the Great World, and the power of the Human Emperor Network could be felt from it. This was the real exit. He had completed the task and could leave the secret realm and return to the Divine City Star region through the exit. The 10 points of Divine City merits were already in hand. But what was the new passage in front of him? At this moment, Lin Moyu suddenly received a prompt from the Human Emperor Network. The first stage of exploring the Poison Bee secret realm has been completed. Asterisk. You can choose to continue exploring and complete the second stage of the task to obtain more rewards. Asterisk. The rewards will vary based on the degree of exploration. Please note that the danger of the second stage of exploration will increase significantly. Asterisk. If there is danger, you can use the escape talisman to leave, and the first stage reward will still be valid. Asterisk. Please make your choice within 1 minute. Asterisk. Lin Moyu didn't expect to receive a message from the Human Emperor Network in the secret realm. He carefully recalled his experiences in the secret realm. He realized that the power of the Human Emperor Network had already penetrated the secret realm. However, this penetration was still superficial and couldn't truly interfere with the operation of the secret realm. In the words of the other shore realm, it couldn't change the rules of the secret realm. But the Human Emperor Network was still very powerful. Its power could already interfere with the secret realm to some extent. For example, it could segment tasks and create an exit using the task item as a coordinate after completing the first stage of the task. As for the second stage, Lin Moyu speculated that the secret realm itself didn't have any tasks. These tasks were all set by the Human Emperor Network. The Human Emperor Network must have its own true purpose. The fact that he had to make a choice within 1 minute indicated that the Human Emperor Network's interference with the secret realm could only be maintained for 1 minute. Lin Moyu tried to communicate with the Human Emperor Network. If I continue exploring, will it benefit you? He believed the Human Emperor Network could understand, or at least the people behind it could. After half a minute, the Human Emperor Network responded with one word, yes. A single word was enough to explain many things. Lin Moyu confirmed that the Human Emperor Network either had self-awareness or was being controlled by someone behind the scenes. Regardless of the possibility, one thing remained unchanged. It was for the human race. The existence of the human emperor network was for the human race. Lin Moyu never doubted this. It was precisely this answer that made Lin Moyu decide his choice. He put away the corpse of the mother of poison bees and walked into the dark passage. The aura of the great world gradually disappeared, and the power of the human emperor network also became weaker and weaker. The sound of water came from ahead, and Lin Moyu saw a curtain of water. He couldn't see where the water came from, but it formed a curtain of water right in front of him. The water fell to the ground, but the ground remained strangely dry, without a trace of water. This is not ordinary water. His soul instinctively opened its eyes, entering the vision of the other shore realm. But he still couldn't see anything. Using the undead vision yielded the same result. It seemed to be the most ordinary water, yet it had an extraordinary appearance. It had no source, no destination, no beginning, and no end. According to the laws of the great world, such a situation was impossible. The power of rules. The rules here have been changed. Lin Moyu could only think of this possibility. Someone had changed the rules here, causing this unusual phenomenon. After taking a deep breath, Lin Moyu walked through the falling water curtain. The scene before him suddenly changed. He found himself no longer in the cave but on an endless plain. Looking around, he saw large masses of water floating in the air. The water masses floated in the air, forming floating pools. He could even see fish swimming inside. Lin Moyu looked around and found no formations or external forces. Only by changing the rules could such a bizarre scene occur. As Lin Moyu stepped into this area, the giant hand covered with runes in the Sea of Flowers where he had first entered the secret realm rose even higher. The entire wrist had already emerged from the ground. The wrist was also covered with runes, shining brightly. It was still struggling hard, trying to completely leave the ground. But a large number of runes appeared in the air, preventing it from leaving. Both sides were wrestling, and it was hard to determine the winner for a while. In the core area of the divine city, in a void, a mass of flames was burning fiercely. The flames were enormous, surpassing the combined volume of dozens of galaxies. Outside the flames, several palaces floated. The palaces had endured the test of time, exuding an ancient and vast aura. A loud voice came from one of the palaces. He has entered the poison bee secret realm of the 12,998 star region, the second stage. Immediately, another voice appeared. The difficulty of the second stage is very high. In tens of thousands of years, fewer than 10 people have passed. Someone corrected him. To be precise, it's 8 people. Whether it's 10 or 8, it doesn't matter. What matters is that no one has passed the final stage. The human emperor network's penetration into the poison bee secret realm has only reached halfway. Perhaps, this time there is hope. If even he can't do it, then no one can. Lin Moyu was unaware that many big figures had high hopes for him. He was currently studying the floating water masses. He saw rune fragments in the water masses, different from the ones he had seen before. These were another set of fragments. When he opened his soul eye to observe them carefully, his soul trembled violently. His soul power was instantly consumed by half, and Lin Moyu groaned, his soul eye automatically closing. Lin Moyu was filled with lingering fear. The rune fragments here were clearly more terrifying, requiring a higher realm. He almost suffered a backlash. With his soul at the other shore realm, he was still affected. If it were an ordinary god king, their soul would likely shatter at a glance. He suddenly realized that if it were an ordinary god king, they wouldn't be able to see these runes at all. If they couldn't see the runes, these problems wouldn't exist. Now he understood that these runes were not meant for god kings to see. Even god sovereigns might not be able to see them. My realm is still not enough. Lin Moyu knew his problem. His soul was sufficient, but his cultivation realm was not high enough. Now Lin Moyu felt a bit awkward. When his realm was high enough, he wouldn't be able to enter. But if his realm wasn't high enough, he couldn't see them. He didn't intend to comprehend them, just to remember the runes, but even that was not possible. He didn't expect the difficulty of the second stage runes to increase so much. As he pondered what to do, he suddenly felt himself being locked onto. He looked up and saw a fish in the nearest water mass staring at him. The next second, a fish rushed out of the water mass. As soon as it left the water mass, its body expanded with the wind, instantly becoming a 10-meter-long behemoth. A powerful aura rushed towards him. These fish all had the strength of a 9th-level god king. A skeletal god general appeared beside him, and in the next moment, sword energy filled the air, slicing the approaching fish into pieces. As the fish died, all the water masses boiled. Sharp cries came from the water masses, and they seemed to come alive, constantly changing shape in the air. Fish of all sizes flew out of the water masses, rushing towards Lin Moyu. As soon as they left the water masses, their bodies expanded dozens of times. In an instant, the sky was filled with monstrous fish, their claws and teeth covering the sky. More than people? Lin Moyu sneered and snapped his fingers. The bone hell appeared, a world of gray and white, almost instantly occupying the sky, enveloping all the monstrous fish. Flames erupted in the bone hell, the undead flames burning fiercely. The slaves in the hell simultaneously attacked the monstrous fish. The number of monstrous fish exceeded 10,000, and their attack power was extremely strong. They could all manipulate water laws, spraying ice arrows and freezing the world. The soldiers in the bone hell alone would take a lot of time to kill them all. The strength of the bone hell depended on the strength of the slaves inside. Currently, his slaves were not strong, with only 3 small god sovereigns and a group of 3 tribe coalition forces. Although the 3 tribe coalition forces were numerous, their combat power was greatly reduced without the support of battle formations. Among the wondrous spirits, few could reach the 9th level of the God King realm. All the monstrous fish were at the 9th level of the God King realm. The skeletal god general joined the battle in the next moment. The bone hell turned into a battlefield, and a large number of monstrous fish were killed by the skeletal god general. Beams of light rose in the hell, and rune fragments appeared in the light. Lin Moyu, unwilling to give up, used his soul eye to observe the rune fragments again, consuming a large amount of soul power. He only remembered a part of the fragments before his soul power was half consumed. Fortunately, his soul power recovered quickly and would be restored in no time. After several more attempts, the results were the same. Lin Moyu suddenly realized something. In the first stage, he had remembered 10 rune fragments. To his shock, he found that he had forgotten what the 10 rune fragments looked like. No matter how hard he tried to recall, he couldn't remember the essence of the runes, and even their shapes were gradually fading from his memory. Lin Moyu sighed with some helplessness. It seems that things of this level are indeed beyond my reach. Now he deeply understood the barrier brought by the difference in realms. The huge gap in realms meant that even if he temporarily remembered, he would soon forget. He recalled what Antares had once said, if it's not yours, don't touch it. Even if you touch it, it's useless. You won't get it anyway.